Yo, what's going on, guys? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me well. What's up, John? What's up, Steve? You're trapped in the weekly PLTR 19 covered calls. Oh boy, PLTR, I am staying away from that one. I mean, I still have these. I still have the 521.25 calls that are down. I have a small position in those, but those are dead. Perfect. Everyone can hear me well. Hope everyone had a good weekend. What's up, Malinier? Yeah, PLTR has been tough, so you're probably fine. I mean, unless they get news or anything or something. They just had earnings, so that's over with. Um, and there's a strong resistance above 20, 2094, 20, right around 21. All right, let me expand this. Perfect. Put this to the top here. All right, anyone have any questions before we get started? Yeah, I'm not too big of a covered call guy. I really just play strictly calls and puts. I used to here and there, um, but I haven't really been doing that lately just because I've been scalping. Um, you eat paint chips as hey, I hope you're rich. All right, so let's get started on SPY. Okay, yeah. So the question was, what's your outlook on the upcoming week, bullish or bearish? I'm pretty bullish. Um, we just had this dip, right? So we're on SPY. We're in the daily time frame. We just had this dip, which was well needed. Um, also, this dip, um, we filled the gap that was somewhere over here on the smaller time frame, um, and we bounced right off. You see how there's another dip right here, or a gap, excuse me. There's a gap right here from like around 400 to 403, and we held that perfectly and bounced right off. And take a look at these 8 and 21 EMAs. The 8 EMA didn't cross over, and we're starting to turn back to the upside. So now, if we can get over this 417.63 level, right? We have multiple rejections here. Actually, I think I like this level better. Yeah, 418.25, right? We have one rejection, two rejection, three, four, five, and so on. If we can get over that level, I think we can potentially see a new all-time high again, and or maybe a run to 435, right? Take a look at the MACD. We're starting to approach the bottom, the lows here, and we're going to start to curl back up. And this is on the daily, so this is with all the data there. So this is going to start to curl back up, potentially get this wave 5, and we'll see what happens. I mean, this could be an A, B, and maybe a C wave down here. All right, that totally could happen. All right, this would be A, that would be C, and then a C wave would be somewhere over here. To do that, right, we take the fibs, or we can go like this. Right, and then put on the, usually it's wave A equals wave C. So right here, 398 would be the target if this is an ABC. All right, so if this wave 3, if we start to see some more downside, my reversal zone would be right here, 398, which lines up perfectly with that level. All right, this is the dip buy region if we see some more downside this weekend. All right, so take a screenshot, whatever. I'll post it in the Discord if you want. This is a heavy demand zone. All right, so we have this resistance right here, which is going to act as a new support if we retest it. This also makes sense because we do have this little gap, so this gap will be filled. We have the 1-to-1 extension of wave A, right? Wave A will equal wave C. And the MACD and the RSI, if we do get this move down here, these will be at the lows, and then we'll start to curl back up. I think I like this scenario best if we don't get that move through that 418.25 level. All right, so I hope that makes sense to everyone. I mean, what I could really see happening is if we do get this move to the downside, right, we'll create like a wedge or something. All right, just like that. All right, a wave 4 wedge before we break out to the upside. That's highly, highly possible. We'll see what happens. I mean, tech has been super weak. So I kind of want to avoid tech this week, but I do have a lot of tech names on my watch list because the setups do look pretty solid. So I'll just continue to play the good setups. All right, I'm gonna play the data. I'm not gonna worry about what's good or what's strong and what's not. Play the data. Let me answer some questions. Yeah, scalping is the way right now. Swing trading has been tough. It's been tough. That was my strategy the last 5 years, and now it's been tough. So I've been trying to adjust my strategy. That's why I'm testing new things here and there. My last 5 or 6 plays were red. It is what it is. Your short-term targets for SPY are 413. Okay. 413. 410. 410. You're playing that previous support, I'm assuming. And then if you open above 420, bullish. Yep. Agree with everything, Melanie. We just have to watch this. If we start to move to the downside and we break below that target he said of 410, we could definitely see 398. Okay. Now QQQ. This, on the other hand, this could get interesting. Tech. So it has been weak, and with everything reopening, all those work from home stocks are moving to the downside. I mean, all tech did well on earnings. Most of them just had earnings. But check this out. So this pink line we've had drawn since February. Right, we had this head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, right, left shoulder, head, and right shoulder. We broke out, and now we just had that correction, and we retested this trend line perfectly, right? This is an old resistance point becoming a new support. And if we take the fibs from this swing low to swing high, the golden zone, which is the 618 to the 786, we bounce perfectly. So this is what confluence means, right? Confluence means we have um, multiple points of data that confirm a that confirm something, right? So we have the fibs, we have this previous uh, resistance turning into a support right here. So that was a great area to play that bounce. I wonder if we take this swing low to this swing high, what fibs level we are at. Let's see. Probably like the 618 or something. Yeah, so look at that. So from this swing low to this swing high, bounce right off the 618. From this swing low to this swing high, we bounced right off that golden zone. So multiple areas of confirmation. And this was a strong demand zone. Take a look at that volume profile on the right hand side. Ton of people wanted to buy right here. This is a huge demand zone. So going forward, that could be a wave 2 dip. And if we have a wave 3 to the upside, oh boy. I mean, 377 is the 1618 target. Whoops, let me adjust it. 372 is the target on that wave 3. I'm pretty bullish going forward, honestly, on this. Okay, IWM. This, I'm bearish if we reject here. So what do I always say? Watch for old resistance turn into support and old support turn into new resistance. We have 1 touch, 2, 3, 4, and we just broke below. So this is a great example of old support failing and potentially is going to act as a new resistance here. Happens so many times. So what we could see happen is a rejection, right? Come off maybe a three wave move down. We'll see what happens. But I am bearish as long as this rejects. If we break over, I'd like to see a move up and then retest again to confirm. All right, so something like this, right? We break up, come back down, and then we move higher. Right, just to confirm that support, and we're not going to fail. Right, and this could be in a head and shoulders, right? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Yeah, you need to watch that level. Right, 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 bounce, 4. So we need to see what happens. Anything under 208, definitely very bearish. But I think we reject here. I mean, we're at a strong resistance point right here. Take a look at the 8 and 21 EMAs. We're approaching that as well. So multiple areas of resistance above for small caps. IWM. All right. Any questions on the ones I just covered, SPY, the Qs, or IWM? No, we're good. All right. Let's get into some setups that I like. So, Tesla's been a little confusing. So, here are the scenarios that I see happening for Tesla. By the way, I'm just going to go over overall trends here. I'm not going to really be going in between intraday unless you want me to during chart request. I will. I'm just going to go over my top setups for the week or for the next 2-3 weeks. Because if the markets get tough again, I'm probably just gonna look to sit back and maybe play some commons, and be a risk first trader, right? Always be risk first. So here's what I see happening. This could be a WXY correction, which in that case we could potentially see a move down to 315. But our next support down below is 539, which is this previous low. It's also the one-to-one extension of wave W, right? So the length of this is equal to the length of Y. Never mind, excuse me, I screwed that up. This one is the length of wave W here. Okay. Also, what we could see is the white count here, an A, B, C. If we see a move to the upside, D, and then I would think we would get that wave E, right? Just like this. We had A, B, C, D, E. If we take the fractals, let's see. How do I do that again? I think it's this. Yeah. Right, so this looks pretty similar, right? Look at that. I would say that looks pretty similar. Just not as... I mean, that looks pretty identical to me. Maybe over here. And shrink that a little bit. All right, you get the point. But this could totally happen. If we get that D and E wave and then we start to see a little bounce out of here, I'm totally going to add commons and play this for the long term. But we'll see what happens. We are on the smaller time frame, right at this level right here. So we could play this on Monday if we don't gap open. That 5, let me change the color so I could tell which one's which. 591.01. Right, so you could totally play calls above this. Right, and my next price target would be like one of these levels right above. All right. Apple. Let's check it out. So Apple. Check out these trend lines. We have an area, right? So previous resistance acting as support, 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 again, again, and again. We just had that bounce. So we're having higher and higher lows and lower highs. So we're coiling, we're getting tighter and tighter. This could be a head and shoulders, right? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So we could reject here, which is a strong resistance across the board. And then come back down, and this would be my dip area buy, the dip buy region between 98 and 108. But if we hold these levels right here and see a move over this 132 level, love this to the upside. So here's the overall trend. Looks good. I mean, this is setting up nicely. This is a lot of consolidation, setting up for a big, big move. Boeing. Take a look at that MACD and the RSI. All right, even if I draw this, right, we're going to start to break out here on that RSI. And take a look at the, right, all bouncing off that same level. So this could definitely start to move to the upside. Really, really like this. Really like this setup. All right, A, B, C, D, and E. Correction. Wave 1, wave 2, 3. Long extended wave 4. Anything over 243, which is this previous resistance, super, super bullish going forward. All right, nice falling wedge here. Entry point, I do like, right, either over 241, or if you wanted to play shorter term, let's see. This level right here for sure. We have a nice little gap to fill. 230, 13. I'm going to set my alert right there. If we break that level, I would probably take that tomorrow for a Friday expiration. Maybe like a 240 call or something. Something that has a chance to go in the money. Even a 250 call potentially. These can really start to pick up if this catches on. Yeah, Chris says this is one of his favorites. Um, I really like this setup a lot. Yeah, so break of that 230.13 level. We have a tiny gap to fill. And then, right, next resistance is going to be this one. You can even use this as a resistance level. That's the same, basically. Yeah, I really like this going into this week. Beautiful setup. And that MACD is just about to cross NVIDIA. NVIDIA looks super, super similar. Right, so we have an extended bull flag. Take a look at that MACD and the RSI. This is about a cross. So maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, we could potentially see a large move. Monday, maybe we'll just consolidate a little bit more. But I'm watching this over 588, right? This high and this high is going to act as a resistance point right here, which could totally be the point if we do break out. This could be their point we reject for a retest, right? So it could look something like this. Retest and then move back to the upside. Which if we do break out tomorrow or Tuesday and then retest, this will give that MACD and the RSI time to turn around here. Like it a lot. Snapshot I put on here just because we are starting to find the bottom right at the 1618. And we do have an inverse head and shoulders. So I did include it. This isn't my favorite setup, but I did include it because we are starting to move sideways here. The MACD is starting to potentially look interesting here. And I think if we cross these 821 EMAs, we could start to see some movement back to the upside and a possible retest of the 64.36 level, which is going to act as a strong, strong resistance, right? This is the supply zone right here. But it makes sense that we're turning around right here, right? We're in a strong demand zone. Take a look at that volume profile on the right-hand side, and across the board, right? This is a strong demand zone that is going to act as a reversal. So it just makes sense that we reverse here, right? So now this becomes wave one. We had our A, B, C, wave two, and then I think we could potentially see a wave three here all the way up to 79. So, I mean, the setup in Elliott wave terms makes sense, as well as, taking a look at the support and resistance levels, volume, right? Look at that declining volume as well. ORCL. So when we had that big dip, this was one of the stronger names. I took a look at it, and we have a nice cup and handle here. Right, so we have our cup handle right to the 0.5, right? We dipped right below, took out everyone's stops, and then we moved back to the upside. So I'm looking just for a breakout play here. I'll probably scalp it. Anything over this, right? We could possibly see some more to the upside. FedEx. This play worked out perfect. Another cup and handle, right? Cup, handle, breakout over that resistance point, and we just had that retest to this other resistance level, right? That high, we retested perfectly, and then we bounce right off. So I'm going to look for a target to the 2618. 329. I think we could potentially see this summer, even just a strong move. This is a great play, great risk to reward play. Um, MACD and the RSI are a little funky. All right, this is just straight across the board. But I like this going into the summer. Longer term play. Maybe pick up some commons. I just want to see how this plays out here. Maybe we'll even see a symmetrical triangle here or something. If we don't get that breakout right away, right? Something like this. Whoops. All right, we consolidate a little bit and then breakout. I mean, we'll see what happens. AMD. So this is super interesting. We are right at a very important level. We're at like a quadruple bottom here, right? 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3, and 4. We just dipped below. You know how many people probably got tricked right here? This is either a bull trap or a bear trap. Don't know yet. We'll see what happens. Head and shoulders pattern, right? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So if this falls below last week's low right here, I mean, I probably would play puts. We also have that little gap to fill. And there's not much support in this area, right? Take a look at that volume profile. This is the next zone people would consider picking up, right in this zone right here. Right, so around 58, 60. That's the next level if this fails, where people are going to look to buy. So we'll see what happens. J&J included this. I just took a look at this right before the stream, and I kind of liked it, so I added it. Right, so bounce, 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 multiple resistance breakout, and retest. Perfect retest with a move back up. If we break that previous high of 171.53, we rejected it once already, so double top. If we break 171.53, my next target would be that resistance above 173.65, and then if we can get some more momentum, just hold those calls and let the runners run and do all the work. I like this play. PayPal. So I think this is setting up very, very nicely. Really like this chart. If you take a look at the overall trend, right? Wave 1, 2, 3, and now wave 4 consolidation. This is either a WXY or an ABCDE. If this was an ABCDE, right? A, B, C, D, and E would be somewhere over here. Either way, I think we see some more consolidation before seeing an absolute rip, either to the upside or the downside. But this is setting up nicely. We need back over these 8 and 21 EMAs. If we can get the 8 EMA to cross the 21 EMA right here and break out of this, break through this white line right here, this is going to act as a resistance. We're going to have a nice move. Right, 277.86. If we could break that high, we'll retest all-time high. So keep an eye on this one. And then Roku. So overall, just be aware, this isn't a downtrend, right? This is the daily chart. So for basically all of 2021, we've been in a downtrend. So don't try and play this until we start to see the uptrend again. But we are starting to form this falling wedge, right? This is on the daily, so this is super long term. But it is looking pretty good. If we take a look at the 15-minute, let's take a look. Right, we're starting to form that triangle. Right? So I think, whether the move is to the upside or the downside, I don't know, right? No one knows, but these are the levels I'm watching, right? Over 320, 350, and then right below that level, 305.50. So we gotta watch that, guys. This could be a great play. All right, nice setup on the small time frame, the large time frame. We gotta watch this. Looks good. And that's really all I'm watching this week. I'm just trying to keep it small, stick to what I know. And if I see anything on the unusual options flow, of course I'll consider that. That's one of my favorite strategies. But does anyone have any questions? No? Any chart requests that you want to see? Garrett said ACB long term. Let's check it out. I mean, cannabis is probably pretty hot for long term. I would consider commons. I don't know about calls. I mean, take a look at that chart. We were at the lows. We already went over SPY and QQQ. If you want to just reverse to the or rewind, take a look at this chart. I mean, we are at the lows. Look where we bounced. That low, we bounced right off of it, all the way from around 2016, 2017. And this year, or 2020, we bounced right off that again. All right, guys, if no one has any questions or anything, I'm not just going to sit here and twiddle my thumbs. Let's give it 2 more minutes. Sure, let's check out MA. Let me delete all this. Okay. So, MasterCard, what you need to watch out for is this level right here, right? That resistance point. Rejected there again. Rejected there. So this could totally, right, move below. It acted as a support here, but it fell through. This could totally act as a resistance and see some more downside. So I would wait for 367.25. I would wait for a move over and a retest for confirmation. Let's see this. All right, so this is the area where it should have bounced, and it did. So that was a strong bounce, right? This area of support as well as that area, right? 1, 2, 3, 3 rejections right here, ended up turning into support here, and there's another time here. Okay. So it's at a super important level right here. Anything below that 357, things are going to be more onto the bearish side, and anything above 367.25 is going to be to the bullish side. Neo, this is just another stock I'm not even looking at anymore. I feel like no matter what, the stock just doesn't want to go up. But here you could see we have right, multiple support, and we just broke through that, but it kind of looks like it's holding by a thread. So if this ends up seeing some more downside, I won't even look at this anymore. Um, I really want to see over 43 just to even be bullish on this, on NEO. Walmart. Okay. Let's check it out. Let me delete all this to make this clean. All right. So, Walmart. This needs over this pink trend line. We have multiple rejections, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This needs over that level right there, 142.74, just to be bullish. Yeah, that's about it. It needs over that level. I'm just gonna do one ticker for everyone, guys. KSS. And I'm just gonna be looking on the daily, unless you want me to look at something on the smaller time frame. Okay. If you want me to look on a certain time frame, just include it in the message. All right, so this is consolidating pretty nicely, right? Multiple bounces. We're just in a range, right? This you don't want to trade in. You want to wait for a break below or a break above. So ideally, you would wait till that 63.57 or that 64.16 level. And below that, I would enter right below that 55.42. All right, so you don't want to trade in a range unless you're scalping. But on the daily, right, this is just moving sideways. So you want to avoid that. Take a look at the beyond. Ugly chart. Ugly. Right? We're in an overall downtrend. Unless you're scalping, don't trade this. Right? You want to make the trend your friend. Had a good week. Fibs starting to work for me. Awesome, Preston. That makes me happy. Fibs are a great tool. Right? Major support area, right? 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 previous resistance. And it just broke below that. So, one, we're in an overall downtrend on the daily, bearish. Right, here's the 200-day moving average, and we're below that. Right, so this gives a general direction of where you are in the trend, and anything below would be bearish, above bullish. So we are just overall bearish. I could possibly see a 114 retest and a rejection. But I wouldn't touch this until we get back over 114. Right? You want help with the trend. If you're playing calls, especially swings, in something that's on the daily trend, trading to the downside, you're fighting. It's like trying to ski up a hill. Right? It's just gonna be very hard. Square. Square I did like, but we just broke below this trend line, so I am avoiding it for now. Right, we're testing this 200 moving average. Needs back above this white trend line. Square XOM. I am in leaps for XOM. Yeah, this is a nice cup and handle. All right, check that out. I love cup and handles that stay over the 0.5. All right, so bounced right off that 0.5 level. And you see how it dips right below it? It takes stops out. That's why you have to that's why you can't set stop losses right at a support zone. You always have to set it right below. Because it's the worst when you get stopped out and then it rips right back to the upside. Yeah, over this 62 level. Turn on the magnet so we can get an accurate level here. 62.55. I like that. I'll set my alert right before it. Fubu. Doesn't come up. Do you mean Fubo? Let's take a look at Fubo if that's what you mean. Yeah, this is like another one of the popular Wall Street tickers. Not touching it. Downtrend. Ugly chart, right? If you're playing calls, you're just fighting the trend, which you don't want to be. W Wayfair, I think this is right. Yep, Wayfair. Of course, Dennis. If you guys disagree with anything that I'm saying, please tell me. Right? Opinions are what helps the world go around. I mean, I'm I've been training for a long time, but I'm no professional. I would consider myself a professional trader. Um, but everyone sees different things. So let me know if you see something different that I don't see, a specific pattern or something. Um, right? We're all our eyes are trained to see different things. Let me delete everything here. Lots of sideways action. I mean, this is just straight chop, right? So if you're trying to swing this, I mean, it's tough. This is tough. I mean, you need over that level, 355. It's at 300 right now. It's over the 200 moving day average, so that's a good sign. It's holding this line right here, right? One bounce, two bounce, three bounce. It's holding that. Right, it's potentially making this triangle right here. So if it could maybe consolidate a little bit more and then break out, that would be ideal. AMC for Gemini. All right. So I do like this chart. Number one, take a look at this 1222 level, right? So first off, 1222 rejected here, rejected there. Rejected here was a previous support and was a previous support again over here in 2018. Right, so that is a very, very important level that we are over. So now that we're over that, if this 1222 level can hold, I mean, look where we rejected. We rejected right at that resistance. All right, 1454, basically right there. If this can consolidate a little bit before moving and breaking out, love it. Anything over 1454, I like. And if we break that, then we'll test that level right there, 1725, and then probably the high of the most recent high, I should say, because it's not the all-time high level, to 2036. But look at this wedge break, consolidation before a move higher. Always what happens. LMND. Another one of those tickers like Fubo and Neo. Overall downtrend. Don't think you should touch this until we start to see some clarity on a trends back to the upside. All right, I think I just did every single one of the tickers you guys requested. Any other last questions? about trading in general, not just chart request. Of course. Yeah, if AMC could start squeezing, I mean, it had like what a 30% day last week. It could be the start of the squeeze, considering there's so much of this stock short, the float short. So I mean, totally could go crazy. These are the levels above though that you need to watch. All right, guys. On that note, if no one has any more questions, I'm gonna head out, and we'll see you tomorrow. Let's have a killer week. All right. Go to my ending screen here. So you said the longer the consolidation, the bigger the breakout. Very true. It's very true. The longer the consolidation, the larger the breakout usually is a true statement. Paris, I can send you ARC K off stream. Demarcus said, any tips for how to manage trading psychology? It's been your biggest enemy. Trading psychology. So, I mean, the first thing that I would do is size smaller, right? If you, let's say you are paper trading, you don't have real money in and you don't trade with emotions, right? So you have to take that same strategy and apply that to when you do put money into it. It's very easy to play off the charts on paper, right? Because you don't have actual money, and with money comes emotion. Um, so I would just continue to practice uh, trading the chart. Just trade the chart. If it's okay to lose a trade, right? Not every trade's gonna work. Um, just play the chart. Play support and resistance levels. Once you enter the trade, you should. I mean, before you enter the trade, you should already have a target and a stop loss. If one gets hit, exit the trade. Let's say you enter a trade, it starts moving to the upside. Always move your break even or your stop loss up. Let's say your play is up 20%. Now your stop loss is at break even. You never want to trade, or you never want to let it trade go from red to green. If I'm up 15% on a trade and it ends up going down to break even, I'll just sell it because I'll hate myself if I end up losing money on a trade that was green. Even though it can reverse, right? It's possible. It's just this is what's going to keep you consistent for the long term. All right. If you have any more questions, just DM me on that, and I'll be glad to help you out. All right, guys.